In the gloomy expanse of Crescent City, a once vibrant metropolis now dominated by the unchecked whims of gangs, the streetlights flickered erratically. Their dim glow cast elongated shadows that seemed to dance in the damp, biting air of the late-night hours. The city, usually alive with the chaotic hum of urban life, was eerily silent except for the ghostly gusts of wind that sent trash whirling down the desolate alleyways. A new danger loomed over Crescent City, a shadow that shrouded the metropolis in a fear the likes of which even the hardened members of the Crescent crew had never faced. A spectral figure of terror had descended, feeding off the growing panic and painting the cityscape with an insidious frost that turned warmth into chilling cold, laughter into silent screams. Its presence was marked by spectral laughter that bounced off the icy buildings, a sound as chilling as the frost itself. Razor, the street-smart leader of the Crescent crew, was no stranger to battles, both in the physical and metaphysical world. He had faced down demons, shapeshifters, and countless threats to his crew and city. But this spectral adversary was unlike any he had encountered before. The creature of frost and fear, however, did not discourage Razor. He recognized it for what it was, a challenge, a riddle to be solved. Gifted with an ancient tome by an enigmatic ally, Razor dove into its cryptic symbols and archaic language. The tome held the secrets to the specter's existence and possibly its weakness. Time was of the essence, and Razor found himself in a race against the growing cold and the paralyzing fear that was slowly seizing his city. The specter's power seemed to grow with each passing day. Its frosty grip crept over every inch of the city, encasing buildings, cars, and trees in a shell of sparkling ice. The Crescent City, once thriving with life and buzzing with energy, now stood silent and frozen under the specter's oppressive rule. Equipped with newfound knowledge, Razor knew he had to confront the specter. It was not the spectral witch herself they had to defeat, but her centuries-old thirst for vengeance. Born from a soul betrayed by her own coven and burned at the stake, she had returned as a specter of ice and vengeance, seeking to spread the same cold she felt in her heart. The final confrontation took place under the beautiful, eerie spectacle of an aurora, its colorful dance reflected on the frozen cityscape. The Crescent crew faced the specter, armed not with weapons, but with understanding and a vow of justice. The witch, who had been nothing more than a heartless specter, was reminded of her once living and feeling self, her yearning for justice, and her shattered humanity. The icy specter was placated, finding the closure she had yearned for centuries. The frost began to recede, warmth slowly returning to the city. The spectral witch disappeared into a peaceful light, leaving Crescent City free from her icy grip. The city had survived the nightmarish ordeal. The Crescent crew, once just a gang, had evolved into the protectors of their city, their bond strengthened through trials of fire and ice. And Razor, their leader, had proven once again that the strength of a leader comes not from his fists, but from his heart and mind. Yet, Crescent City remained a battleground, where the veil between the supernatural and the mundane world was thin. And as Razor looked out onto the horizon, he knew that there were more battles to be fought, more riddles to be solved. But for now, he was content with the victory they had achieved, the peace they had brought, however fleeting it might be. The spectral witch had taught them an important lesson, that behind every monstrous facade there lay a story, a motive that once understood could turn enemies into allies, fear into empathy. Razor realized that his role was not just to protect the city, but to understand these spectral entities, to bridge the gap between the living and the supernatural. Crescent City was gradually coming back to life. The warm morning sun began to melt the ice, and the city's inhabitants tentatively ventured outside. The once frozen city was now buzzing with energy and hope, the memories of the haunting specter slowly fading away. Yet, the Crescent crew knew better than to forget. They knew the specter's story was just one among countless others, waiting to be discovered, waiting to be understood. As for the Crescent crew, they took a moment to bask in their victory, to appreciate the bond that had strengthened amidst the chaos. They had seen the worst, yet they stood tall, their resolve unbroken. They were more than just a gang. They were guardians, protectors of their city. But they knew this peace was but a temporary respite, a quiet before the next storm. In the heart of the city, Razor stood watching the sun rise over the thawing cityscape. The light scattered off the melting icicles, casting a mesmerizing display of colors onto the once frost-bitten buildings. In the tranquility of the dawn, the city almost seemed normal. But Razor knew better. Crescent City was anything but normal. Even as the city reveled in the warmth of a new day, Razor couldn't shake off a sense of unease. The Spectre was defeated, yes, but the ancient tome spoke of more entities, more threats lurking in the shadows. The battle was won, but the war was far from over. And as the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting long, dark shadows in the narrow alleyways of Crescent City, Razor couldn't help but wonder, what comes next? What other shadows lurk in these streets? But he wasn't afraid. He was ready. After all, the night was darkest before the dawn, and it was always darkest in the streets of shadows. Hey everyone, welcome to our channel. We're so excited to have you here and share our content with you. If you're new here, make sure to click that subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and we can't wait to see you in the next video.